There's someone in your life right now who only calls when they need something. You know who I'm thinking about. That friend who disappears for weeks until they have a favor to ask. The colleague who's suddenly friendly right before they need your help on a project. The person who makes you feel guilty every time you say no. But here's the question that's probably making you uncomfortable right now. How many people in your life are actually using you? Not just that one obvious person. How many relationships are you in where you're giving significantly more than you're receiving? And the harder question, how long have you known this, but refused to admit it to yourself? You felt it, that sinking feeling when your phone rings and you see their name. That moment of resentment when they ask for another favor. That exhaustion after spending time with them. Your gut has been telling you something's wrong, but you've been ignoring it because acknowledging it means you'd have to do something about it, and doing something about it is painful. Today, I'm going to give you the framework to definitively know if someone is using you, not guessing, not wondering, knowing. This isn't going to be comfortable, because once you see these patterns clearly, you can't unsee them. Once you recognize how you're being used, you have to decide whether you're going to keep allowing it. That decision is yours, but the awareness. That's what I'm giving you today. By the end of this video, you'll have specific questions to ask yourself about every significant relationship in your life. And the answers to those questions will tell you exactly who's using you and how. This is dark psychology, not because I'm teaching you to manipulate, because I'm teaching you to recognize when you're being manipulated. Let's begin. Before we dive into the diagnostic questions, understand what it actually means to be used. Being used means someone values what you provide more than they value you as a person. They're in relationship with your utility, not with you. The moment you stop being useful, they disappear. That's the core pattern. Everything else is just variations on that theme. Research in social psychology shows that users employ specific behavioral patterns. They're not random, they're predictable. Once you know what to look for, the patterns become obvious. But here's why you haven't seen them clearly before. You've been focused on what people say instead of what they do. Words are easy to manipulate. Behavior reveals truth. Users tell you they care. Their behavior shows they don't. You've been listening to the words and ignoring the behavior. The questions I'm about to give you force you to look at behavior, not intentions, not explanations, actions, because actions reveal who people actually are, not who they claim to be. Some of these questions will make you defensive. That defensiveness is usually a sign you already know the answer but don't want to admit it. Pay attention to which questions trigger that response. That's where the truth is hiding. Before we continue, if you want to understand manipulation, toxic relationships, and how to protect yourself from people who use psychological tactics against you, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. I break down dark psychology, behavioral patterns, and social dynamics every week, and leave a comment telling me, have you already identified someone who might be using you? I want to know what patterns you're recognizing. This community learns by sharing real experiences. Now let's reveal how to know if someone is using you. The first diagnostic question: when was the last time they contacted you without needing something? Think about this carefully. Not when did they last contact you. When did they last contact you purely to connect with no ask attached? Go through your message history if you need to. Look at the pattern. Are they reaching out to check in, see how you're doing, share something with you, or is every contact transactional? Do they need advice, a favor, emotional support, a connection you can make, money they can borrow? Here's what the pattern reveals. If someone only contacts you when they need something, you're not a relationship to them. You're a resource. They're managing you the way they manage their bank account. They make withdrawals when needed. They don't think about you when they don't need anything. This is the clearest signal that you're being used, and it's the one people most often rationalize away. You tell yourself they're just busy. Everyone's busy. You tell yourself they're not good at staying in touch. But they stay in touch when they need something, don't they? Somehow they find time to reach out when they want something from you. The business and poor communication skills mysteriously disappear when they need you. That's not coincidence, that's calculation. Ask yourself right now, how many people in your life only appear when they need something? And how many times have you made excuses for that pattern instead of seeing it for what it is? The person who values you will contact you sometimes just because they thought of you, saw something that reminded them of you, wanted to share an experience with you. The person using you only thinks of you when they have a problem you can solve. The second diagnostic question: do they remember important things about your life, or do you constantly have to remind them? Think about your last few conversations. Did they ask about that thing you were worried about last month? Did they remember your work presentation was today? Do they know what's actually happening in your life? Or do they treat every conversation like it's the first one you've ever had? Here's what this reveals. Remembering details about someone's life requires caring enough to retain that information. When someone consistently forgets what you've told them, it's because they weren't really listening. They were waiting for their turn to talk about themselves or their problems. You're not important enough to them to occupy mental space when you're not physically present. Users have selective memory. They remember what they need to remember about you. They remember that you are good at fixing tech problems, or that you have a truck they can borrow, or that you give good advice about relationships. They remember your utility, but they forget your mother's health issue. They forget you were stressed about your career decision. They forget you mentioned you were going through a hard time. Those details don't serve them, so they don't stick. Ask yourself, when you share what's happening in your life, does this person engage with it? Do they follow up later? Do they ask how things turned out? Or do they give surface-level responses and immediately redirect to themselves? The person who values you maintains the context of your life because they care. The person using you treats each interaction as isolated because they only care about what you can do for them in that moment. The third diagnostic question: is the relationship balanced, or are you always the one giving? This requires honest accounting. Make a mental list. What do you give this person? Time, emotional support, money, favors, connections, advice? Now make a list of what they give you. Be honest. Don't include things they say they'll do. Only things they actually do. Here's what the imbalance reveals. Healthy relationships have reciprocity over time. Not transaction by transaction, but over the arc of the relationship, there's balance. You help them, they help you. You support them, they support you. You make effort, they make effort. When the relationship is consistently one-sided, with you always giving and them always receiving, that's not a relationship. That's exploitation, with occasional nice words attached. Users are expert at making you feel like balance exists when it doesn't. They thank you profusely. They tell you how much they appreciate you. They say they do the same for you. But when you actually need them, where are they? They're busy. They can't help right now. They have their own problems. Suddenly, the person who always has time to receive your help has no time to provide it. Ask yourself, when was the last time this person actually helped you with something difficult? Not liked your social media post, actually showed up for you when you needed them. If you're struggling to remember, that's your answer. The relationship is one-directional. They take, you give. And you've been accepting words of appreciation instead of actual reciprocity. The fourth diagnostic question: how do you feel after spending time with them? Not during, after. Your emotional state after an interaction is one of the most reliable indicators of whether someone is using you. Do you feel energized or drained? Do you feel valued or used? Do you feel good about yourself or vaguely resentful? Here's what your emotional response reveals. People who genuinely value you leave you feeling positive. Even if the conversation was about heavy topics, you feel heard and valued. People who use you leave you feeling depleted. Even if the conversation was pleasant on the surface, you feel tired, slightly resentful, or emotionally empty afterward. Your subconscious knows you just gave energy and got nothing back. That knowledge manifests as emotional exhaustion. Users are emotional vampires. They take your energy, your positivity, your support, and they give back very little. But they're skilled at making the interaction feel mutual in the moment. They're engaged. They seem grateful. They might even offer surface-level support for your issues. But after they leave, you notice you feel worse, not better. That post-interaction depletion is your system telling you something's wrong with this dynamic. Ask yourself, which people in your life consistently leave you feeling drained, and which leave you feeling energized? The people who drain you are taking more than they give. If that's occasional because they're going through something hard, that's normal friendship. If that's the consistent pattern, that's not friendship. That's you being used as an emotional support resource with no reciprocal care. The fifth diagnostic question: do they respect your boundaries, or do they push past them? Think about the last time you said no to this person or set a boundary. How did they respond? Did they accept it gracefully? Or did they push back, guilt trip you, make you explain and justify, or ignore the boundary entirely? Here's what boundary violation reveals. People who value you respect your limits. They understand that no is a complete sentence. They might be disappointed, but they accept your boundaries because your well-being matters to them. People who use you treat your boundaries as obstacles to overcome. They don't care about your limits. They care about getting what they need from you. So they push, they guilt, they manipulate, they wear you down until you give in. Users are allergic to boundaries because boundaries limit their access to you. If you're allowed to say no, they might not get what they need, so they train you, often over years, that saying no comes with consequences. They get upset, they make you feel selfish. They remind you of all the times they've been there for you, conveniently forgetting that you've been there for them 10 times as much. They make saying no so uncomfortable that you stop doing it. That's intentional conditioning. Ask yourself, can you say no to this person without guilt, pushback, or consequence? If you can't, you're being used. A real relationship allows for no. A user relationship punishes no until you stop trying. How often have you said yes to this person when you wanted to say no because you knew what would happen if you refused? That's not care. That's coercion. The sixth diagnostic question: do they know real things about you, or just the useful things? This is subtle but revealing. What does this person actually know about you? Do they know your dreams, fears, values, history, or do they just know what you can do for them? Can they describe what matters to you, what you're working toward, what keeps you up at night? Here's what this reveals. People who value you are curious about you as a person. They ask questions. They want to understand you. They remember what you tell them because it matters that you matter. People who use you only know the parts of you that serve them. They know you're generous because they exploit that. They know you're good at solving problems because they bring you theirs. But they don't know you. They know your utility function. Users treat you like a vending machine. They know which buttons to push to get what they want. They've studied your weaknesses, your people-pleasing tendencies, your guilt triggers. They know how to manipulate you. But they don't know what your childhood was like, what you're proud of, what you're insecure about, what you really want from life. Those things don't matter to them because they don't help them get what they need. Ask yourself, if this person had to describe you to someone else, could they? Would they know what to say beyond surface traits? Or would they struggle because they've never bothered to know you beyond what you provide? The depth of knowledge someone has about you reveals how much they actually care about you versus what you can do for them. The seventh diagnostic question: when you have good news, do they celebrate with you, or does it somehow become about them? This is one of the most telling diagnostics. Think about the last time you shared an accomplishment or good news with this person. How did they respond? Were they genuinely happy for you? Or did they somehow make it about themselves, minimize it, or change the subject? Here's what this reveals. People who care about you want good things for you. Your wins make them happy because they care about your happiness. People who use you feel threatened by your wins or indifferent to them. Your good news doesn't serve them, so they don't engage with it. Or worse, your success makes them feel bad about themselves, so they minimize it to feel better. Users have a tell when you share good news. They give minimal acknowledgement and quickly redirect. Oh, that's great. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you about this thing I'm dealing with. Your moment of joy became 3 seconds before they made it about them again. Or they diminish it. That's good, but have you thought about this potential problem? They can't let you just have the win because your joy doesn't feed them. Your problems feed them because then you need their input or they can commiserate. Ask yourself, does this person genuinely celebrate your successes? Or do they feel like competition or threat? Can you share good news with them and feel supported? Or does it always somehow get diminished or redirected? The person who values you wants you to win. The person using you only cares when your situation benefits them or when you need them. The eighth and final diagnostic question: if you stopped being useful to them, would they still be in your life? This is the ultimate test. Imagine you could no longer provide whatever they typically get from you. No more favors, no more emotional support, no more connections, no more money, no more solving their problems. If that all stopped, would they still want to spend time with you? Here's what this thought experiment reveals. If your honest answer is no, they probably wouldn't stick around. Then you already know you're being used. You know the relationship is transactional. You know they're there for what you provide, not for who you are. You've known this for a while. You've just been avoiding admitting it to yourself because admitting it means you have to make a decision about what to do. Users reveal themselves when the utility stops. When you go through a period where you can't help them, they disappear. When you set boundaries and stop being as available, they fade. When you have problems of your own and need support instead of giving it, suddenly they're too busy. This isn't coincidence. You stopped serving their needs, so they've stopped investing in you. That's the clearest possible signal that you were being used. Ask yourself this hard question: how many people in your life would disappear if you stopped being useful to them? Be brutally honest, not who you hope would stay. Who would actually stay? That number is probably smaller than you want it to be. And the gap between those two numbers represents how many relationships you re-in where you re-being used. These are the 8 diagnostic questions that reveal if someone is using you. When was the last time they contacted you without needing something? Do they remember important things about your life? Is the relationship balanced? How do you feel after spending time with them? Do they respect your boundaries? Do they know real things about you? When you have good news, do they celebrate with you? If you stopped being useful, would they still be in your life? You already know the answers to most of these questions. You've probably known for a while. The discomfort you're feeling right now is cognitive dissonance. The gap between what you know is true and what you've been telling yourself is true. You've been rationalizing, making excuses, giving people the benefit of the doubt when their behavior doesn't deserve it. You've been doing this because facing the truth is painful. Here's what happens next. You have 3 options. Option 1. Ignore what you now see clearly and continue being used. Some people choose this. It feels safer than confronting the truth. But the resentment builds. The exhaustion accumulates. Eventually you break down or blow up. Option 2. Confront the person and try to fix the relationship. This sometimes works if the person genuinely didn't realize what they were doing. More often, they get defensive, turn it around on you, or temporarily change before reverting to the same patterns. Option 3. Accept what you see and adjust your investment accordingly. Stop giving so much, pull back, see if they notice or care. Often they don't, which confirms they were using you. Then you make an informed decision about whether to continue that relationship. The hardest part of recognizing you're being used isn't seeing it. It's deciding what to do about it, because the people using you are often people you care about. Family members, longtime friends, romantic partners. Cutting them off feels impossible. But continuing to be used feels unsustainable. You're stuck between two painful options. Here's what I want you to understand. You didn't create this situation, they did. By choosing to use you instead of valuing you, by taking more than they give, by treating you as a resource instead of a person. You've been kind, generous, and caring. Those are good qualities. But some people exploit good qualities instead of reciprocating them. That's on them, not you. Your only responsibility now is to yourself. To stop allowing it, you can't change them. You can only change what you accept, and once you see these patterns clearly, continuing to accept them is a choice you're making. That choice has consequences: resentment, exhaustion, diminished self-respect. The cost of being used is paid in your well-being. The question is how much more you're willing to pay. Go through your relationships, apply these 8 questions honestly. The answers will show you who values you and who uses you. Then, make conscious decisions about each relationship. Some people deserve less of you, some people deserve none of you, and some people, the ones who answer these questions the right way, deserve more of you. Invest accordingly. You deserve relationships where you're valued, not used. Where the care is mutual, not one-sided. Where you can say no without punishment. Where your wins are celebrated, not minimized. Where you matter as a person, not just as a resource. Those relationships exist, but you will and have space for them while you re-exhausting yourself on people who are using you. This awareness is painful, but it's also liberation. Because once you know who's using you, you can stop letting them. You can reclaim your time, energy, and emotional capacity. You can redirect those resources to people and pursuits that actually value them. And you can stop wondering why you feel drained all the time when the answer is right there in the pattern of relationships where you give everything and receive almost nothing. That's how you know if someone is using you. The real question is, now that you know, what are you going to do about it? See you in the next one.